All right. Welcome, my friends. I hope everybody is doing well. And as I was looking at the registration, I was going to say, I hope everybody's doing well this morning or this afternoon, but we got folks uh, all over the world. So good, whatever time of the day it is for you at the moment. Let me let these folks in. As we start to settle in for our practice, just take a moment and drop in the chat how you're feeling this morning. We all know that we're all still riding that New Year's sort of energy that is kind of flowing in and flowing through with everyone setting their intentions and directing that energy towards a level of alignment. And so drop in how you're feeling this morning. Or even if you want to drop in maybe well wishes to the group as we start to create our virtual container, just take a minute to do so as we start to check in. And even I know I'm adding stuff in. I'm just excited that we're all together, even virtually. But even drop where you're from, just so we start to shape out our virtual container. And while you do that, I'll start by introducing myself because I'm terrible at doing that. My name is Sean Moore, and I create sacred space for self-inquiry and personal discovery. Thank you for signing up and being here for our practice. Um, Pause, forgive the pauses. I'm making sure folks get in, giving folks till 12:05 or till we start the practice before we stop letting folks in. But yeah, welcome to our New Year's Day Metta meditation practice. I love metta meditation, and you might be asking, what the heck is metta meditation? And for those folks that aren't familiar, it's a Buddhist practice, a Buddhist meditation, and metta is the Pali word for loving kindness. And you might have heard that term being used before about around loving kindness. And I like to look at it as boundless compassion, right? And what I love so much about this practice, especially as someone that comes from a service oriented or servant leadership background and perspective, is that it's a beautiful practice to cultivate care for the world, right? For care for those that are around us, care for those who are in that we care for very particularly. And what's different here, especially for those folks who are in service sort of work, is that so often we can get caught up in just worrying about or just focusing on others, right? And neglecting the care for ourselves. And if we want to be of service to other people, we have to make sure that we're pouring from a full cup, right? And so I love metta meditation because as we start to intentionally send out that loving kindness, and I'll share with you the metta prayer that we'll send out to those that we'd like to direct that energy to. What I love about this practice is that it starts very intentionally with sending that care and love, that loving kindness, that compassion to yourself first. And I think that as we are all in service, whether you're a healer, teacher, educator, whatever title you wear, a mom, a dad, friend, loved one, beloved, whatever title you have, it's so easy to get caught up in just sending that love to other people. And sometimes we forget about ourselves, our own self-care, our own needs, our own gentleness and kindness to ourselves. And so this practice is a beautiful way for us to begin with sending that and cultivating that sense of loving kindness for ourselves so that we can then properly, fully send that out to those in the rest of the world. So just to give you an idea of what we'll flow through today is we'll start with our meditation practice. We'll do a little bit of grounding before we get into the metta meditation portion of it. We'll begin that. And then there'll be about 2 or 3 minutes, depending on where we are with time, of just silence for us just to sit in the practice. And then I'll guide you on the back end out with my voice. And then pending on time, because I love to respect time, we'll have some space to either share or just maybe share what's come up for you during this particular practice. So that's a bit of our signpost or goalpost for this practice. What I always like to say, and if you got the email that came out maybe about an hour before the practice, one of the great things about meditation and then also meditating from home is that we're able to cultivate a space that is conducive for our practice. So whatever that looks like, if that's getting the aromatherapy going, the incense going, lighting your altar, telling your loved ones, give me 30 minutes, I need some peace so I can meditate, whatever you need to do to cultivate that sort of energy in your space, make sure you honor yourself and do so. You can grab your favorite hoodie. I had to grab one of my favorite hoodies to throw on. It's a little chilly. You can wrap yourself in a weighted blanket, whatever gives you that sense of comfort. Remember that as we talk about sending that loving kindness to other people, we want to direct that to ourselves as well. And so don't just say like, hey, I'm just going to plop on the floor and just come into my meditation practice. Give yourself grace to fulfill all of the comforting things that will help you settle into the practice. One of the other things I like to share, especially for a practice that is a bit longer, to let folks know that it's okay that if your mind wanders, that's just part of the process. It doesn't mean that you've broken the meditation practice or that you're not doing it right. It just means that be gentle with yourself as you come back to the present moment. The mind wandering is a part of the practice. It's a part of the process. I like to always, share this. Pema Chodron is one of my favorite authors, and in my mind, one of my gurus. And I'm in the process of reading one of her books, and she talks very specifically about making friends with your mind, right? And I think sometimes when we approach meditation, sometimes that can be the thing that blocks us from sitting in the practice. So when your mind wanders, or when it goes and it's like, what's for lunch? What's happening Monday at work? Any of the other stray thoughts that might pop up, don't beat yourself up about that. Just notice it, observe it, and gently return back to the anchor of the breath, or just whatever intention you decide to set for this practice. So just keep all of those things in mind. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into our meditation, our seat of meditation. Remember that you have a lot of agency in this practice. Anything I share is just an invitation. So just know that if sitting upright doesn't work for you and you want to rest and relax in a more restorative shape, feel free to do so. All right. So we'll take about a minute to settle into our meditation practice, into our seat. All right. And allow yourself to settle into stillness. As we settle into this space, maybe you gently roll the ears up to your shoulders, and then gently roll the shoulders down, or roll your shoulders down to your back, and just settle in. Maybe you lengthen in the neck, allowing the crown of the head to rise, creating a nice gentle foundation in the lower body. Resting the hands right on the knees, palms face down for a bit more grounding, palms face up, just to be receptive to the energy in the space. And as we settle into our seat of meditation, just know that we're finding a balance between effort and ease. There's effort in the activeness of the posture, but we also invite in a sense of ease, restfulness, softness, bringing that directly into the breath. If it's accessible for you in this moment, gently blink the eyes closed. And if not, know that that's okay. You can allow the gaze to rest on an object right in front of you. Whichever choice you lean into, just use that as a signpost, as a transition inward. And just use this as we transition gently into our practice to just check in with yourself, noticing what's happening in the breath, in the body, in the mind. approaching the practice from a space of curiosity and inquiry. Just gently noticing, gently becoming aware. And maybe it even is beneficial for you to ask yourself in this moment, how am I feeling? Just notice whatever comes up. We work to not judge whatever state we're in at the moment because we remind ourselves that it's all temporary. So even if we're feeling low energy or there's a bit of anger in the practice or sadness or whatever emotion, even if it's happiness or contentment, peace, just know that it's all temporary. And so we just notice what flows in and we gently allow it to flow out. And we'll do a gentle body scan that will help soften us into the practice. And as we move our awareness to different points and different parts of the body, just invite in a deeper sense of release and relaxation, of softening, of effortlessness. Even if that softening, that relaxing is just 1 or 2% more than where you already are, just notice that that is movement in the right direction. Sometimes we feel like our acknowledgement of change has to be these large, grand, sweeping sort of movements, but even 1 or 2% more can get the trick done. So move that awareness to the soles of the feet, gently softening. Awareness moving to the toes, to the ankles. Awareness gently moving to the shins. To the knees, to the hips, gently softening. Making any adjustments that seem to bring or present themselves in your practice, noticing it's okay to make adjustments, just return back to stillness. Softening gently into the base of the spine, the belly, the abdomen, the chest. Moving that awareness to the tips of the fingers, the palms of the hands, the back of the hands, the wrists, the elbows, the shoulders, softening gently in the neck, gently releasing the jaw, softening around the cheeks and the temples, around the brow, even softening at the top of the head. And with the body relaxed, we just return back to the breath. And here we'll invite in a gentle, even or equal flow of the breath. Just noticing the breath move in on the inhale, and gently softening or releasing on the exhale. And as you continue to breathe, each cycle of the breath creates space for an easeful practice. Noticing or encouraging the breath to flow on the inhale at the same count as the exhale. And maybe you inhale to the count of 4. And once you get to 4, just immediately exhale out to the count of 4. Maybe you see, sense, or feel the breath flowing in almost as a shape of a circle. The inhale, one half of that circle, the exhale, the second half of that circle. And as smooth and as effortless as you breathe is as smooth and as effortless as that circle is being formed. And we'll move into the second portion of our practice. So just notice yourself sitting. Maybe you visualize yourself sitting in the space in which you've created for this practice, this gentle, sacred container that you've created. And we'll gently begin. As we think about our metta practice or our loving kindness practice, we begin with ourselves. So almost envision from our heart space, just an openness, a compassionate energy. Maybe you notice or feel a pulse or a vibration in that space. This is the energy of our loving kindness practice. Maybe you notice what texture this energy has or what feeling. Maybe it feels warm, vibrant. And as we're in this practice, our first step is to direct that energy directly to ourselves. And you can repeat to yourself or just notice the vibration of the metta prayer. May I be at peace. May my heart remain open. May I awaken to the light of my own true nature. May I be healed. And may I be a source of healing to all beings. And just notice what that energy feels like being directed towards you. May I be at peace. May my heart remain open. May I awaken to the light of my own true nature. May I be healed. May I be a source of healing to all beings. Just take a moment and rest in that energy of that loving kindness being directed to yourself. We'll gently expand our circle of awareness. And now in the center of your mind's eye, just bring into focus someone that you love tremendously. Maybe it's a parent, a partner, a friend, a sibling, a pet. But someone that you have a vibrant love for. When that person rests at the center of your mind's eye, that same loving kindness energy that we directed at ourselves, send that energy to that person. Directing that same metta prayer to that person. May you be at peace. May your heart remain open. May you awaken to the light of your own true nature. May you be healed. May you be a source of healing for all beings. Notice what it feels like to send that sort of compassion, that boundless compassion to this person. And we'll gently expand our circle of awareness. And as we expand that circle of awareness, bring into the center of your mind someone who may be, and I know it's a weird term, but a familiar stranger, someone that you know, but you don't really know that well. Maybe they're a colleague, an associate, someone that you've maybe met in passing. You're familiar, but you don't know them personally. And allow them to gently manifest right at the center of the mind. And then take a moment to see, sense, or feel yourself send that same loving kindness, that energy that we've cultivated, moving from self to a loved one to this familiar stranger. And we'll send to them the same metta prayer. May you be at peace. May your heart remain open. May you awaken to the light of your own true nature. May you be healed. May you be a source of healing to all beings. Just notice, become curious just about how it feels to send this energy to this person. This boundless compassion. And we'll expand our circle of awareness. And this is where the practice can get a little tricky. Think about someone that may be a source of difficulty in your life. I'm intentionally utilizing words that are a little bit more open. It's not someone that you hate or someone that may have caused you harm, but someone that may be a source of difficulty in your life. That the relationship that you have with this person just might be an unskillful sort of relationship. This might not be the first person you would think about to send compassion and loving kindness to, but just bring this person into the center of your mind's eye. And when we think about or talk very specifically about loving kindness or boundless compassion, this is open and something that we send to everyone. And so this is where we get a little friction in our practice. And so when you have that person in your mind's eye, just notice that same compassionate energy that you've cultivated right at the heart center. And we'll send that energy to this person and share with them the same metta prayer. May you be at peace. May your heart remain open. May you awaken to the light of your own true nature. May you be healed. And may you be a source of healing for all beings. And as this might be a difficult one, just take a moment to observe what comes up for you in this space. We begin to witness what's happening in the breath, the body, and the mind. And know that it might be okay if there's a little bit of resistance. But even in that resistance, there may be a bit of wisdom to take off of the mat. And we'll expand our circle of awareness one last time to include the entire world. Thinking about people you know, you don't know, that you have met, that you may never meet. But we include all living beings. And just think about that loving kindness that we've cultivated, that we've started with ourselves, we've sent to our loved ones, we've sent to a familiar stranger. We've even included and sent that energy to someone that may be a source of difficulty for us. But now we include the entire world. Just notice how that feels. And as we send to them that loving kindness, we also share that metta prayer. May the world be at peace. May the world's heart remain open. May everyone awaken to the light of their own true nature. May all be healed. And may we all be a source of healing for each other. We'll rest here for about 2 minutes, just noticing the open awareness of the practice, noticing the flow of the breath, noticing the vibration in the heart space. Taking a moment to gently watch the breath and just be. 2 minutes. One more minute, just continuing to flow with the breath. And even as we begin to transition out of the practice, just notice what energy sort of arises in the experience. Noticing if there's any changes in the breath, changes in the body, changes in the mind. Just observing those fluctuations. Not as a means to react to those fluctuations, but as a means to notice any wisdom that might be inherent in those sort of fluctuations or changes as we transition. And wherever you are, begin to gently deepen the breath, inviting in a sense of full body breathing, noticing the inhale, expanding the belly, the abdomen, the chest, the shoulders on the inhale, the exhale, softening the shoulders, the chest, the abdomen, the belly. Just gently repeat that cycle for a few breaths. Full expansive breathing. That breath allowing this loving kindness, this cultivated sense of compassion to permeate into every cell of the body. And when you're ready, you can gently bring the hands to heart center, pressing the palms together, allowing the chest to rise to meet the back of the thumbs. And just thank yourself for showing up for this practice. I always feel it's appropriate to lean into our metta meditation practice at the top of the year, cultivating that sense of compassion as a means to almost create that muscle memory to return back to that compassion when we meet the ebbs and flow of the year. So just thank yourself for starting off with a full cup as we begin 2022. Just take a moment to rub the palms together, generating a little love, light, heat, energy between the hands. And when you feel that warmth, rest your hands on a part of your body that needs a little extra love, a little extra TLC. Knowing that that's going to be different for everyone in the practice, but just listen to your intuition. Rest your hands and just breathe deeply into that space, sending that healing energy back to yourself. And as always, I want to say thank you all for allowing me to hold space for you all today. It's the wisdom and compassion in me honors, acknowledges, loves the wisdom and compassion in everyone that my voice has the privilege to reach. May you move into the year with a greater sense of peace, clarity, and freedom.